one of the things that I wanted to sort of pick up on was where you see some of the future trends going, because I know something we've talked about in the past is some of these emerging product sets like algae, for instance, and also whole food versus the processed meat alternative sort of burger. You know, where do you see the market headed? What's going to be the main driver of consumer interest?
Yeah, I think from the industry's perspective and what's going to be new, I think experimenting with different protein sources, plant protein sources, is probably going to be one of the key ones. On one side, you've kind of got the meat alternatives, the meat analogues. How do they use different sources and different manufacturing techniques to create better products that mimic meat products, that mimic meat proteins? And then on our side, I guess, because essentially a lot of what we've sourced historically are ingredients that are now typically being used in products, but ingredients that can be used in people's diets, are things that we've sourced for over a decade, but are now becoming more apparent and more understood in terms of their benefits. So, algae is a good example. So microalgae is something that we do. So ingredients like spirulina and chlorella, grown in freshwater pools, lightly processed. They're 65% protein, so very high protein, but they're also high in other micronutrients like B12 and iron. And B12 and iron, as we know, two of the nutrients that typically are harder to come by if you're not eating an animal-based diet. Well, depending on how much you want to buy into some of these Netflix documentaries and so forth. But I think finding easier ways of getting protein sources that also have some of the other micronutrients that are going to be beneficial for overall health, let alone for someone that's eating more of a plant-based diet. So I can see that some of those things are probably going to start to come into more of the mainstream. The big challenge is getting consumers to really understand what they are. I mean, some of these things are hard to pronounce, let alone then understand what they do.
I don't know what you mean, Sam.
I need to spell these things out phonetically myself to pronounce them properly. So how does someone on a supermarket shelf get their head around that? And I think that's part of the challenge for the brands and retailers is to help consumers through that. And ultimately, in the end, what's the best thing for you to do? The best thing to use to cook using whole food, minimally processed ingredients from a plant-based source. And for that, I guess you need to know how to use them and what to use them with. Some of these things taste quite good. Some of them in their raw form admittedly don't. So I think these are some of the barriers that people would need to get over, and even if they believe in the benefits of moving to a plant-based diet, for example, or using a plant protein source rather than a dairy source, then there's is it going to taste good? How expensive is it? What do I do with it? And then is it going to be, from an experience point of view, as good as the products I'm used to using? These are all the things that we see as being barriers to entry. So ultimately, I think for the category to continue to grow and to convert more people, those are the things that brands and retailers probably need to focus on.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Check out the playlist here for more content like this. Click the donuts to subscribe so you never miss an update, and give us a like and a comment so we know what content you'd like to see from us. See you next time.